Hello Scorpio, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your December tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love situation, your career, at your career and workspace, and also we'll get you some guidance on how to utilize the energies of the months in the most beneficial way for yourself. At the end, I'll also pull some cards from a different deck with messages from your person of interest to yourself. I'm gonna start with an oracle deck, and this time I'm using the Spirit Junkie Oracle from Gabby Bernstein. So this is the deck with affirmations, with some positive statements, guidance, mantras, if you wish, on how to bring more of that constructive, enthusiastic, positive energy into your life. I feel like it's more than fitting considering we are talking about December. A lot of us are setting intentions for the next year. We're analyzing how this year has been, and by the way, it's super important to include gratitude into your analysis, into whenever and however you're remembering this year, even if it's something objectively negative. I mean, look at my story, for example. This year, most of this year has been about the war in my homeland, and a lot of people I love and I know they were in big trouble, different size, different situations. So that's objectively, a negative event, negative side of this year. But on the other hand, it's important to turn it around and be grateful. So I'm grateful for the way the people stood up to the occupant, right? I'm grateful for how foreign countries have been helping out in various ways to support Ukraine, right? I'm grateful that my loved ones are safe. I haven't lost anybody to the war, thank goodness. I'm grateful that I'm safe myself. I'm here and I can continue living a happy life, continuing to and passing the Ukrainian cultural legacy, and I can support my loved ones in my country, etc., etc., right? So it's important, and it's not about putting a good spin on things, right? But it's still important to have that narrative as part of your acknowledgement, right? Your remembrance. Okay, going to the reading. Just one more thing that I'm gonna say while I'm shuffling. We do have Neptune going direct on December 3rd, and it's going direct in Pisces, which is a water sign. So actually, like, Neptune is about the dreamy energy, especially when it's direct. It's like creating a vision, it's manifesting something into your life, something ambitious, something that normally maybe you wouldn't consider. You would think, yeah, that's too much, that's too far. But now is the time to bring it about, especially as it's in Pisces, which is on its own a dreamy and cosmic energy. And because you're a water sign, it's going to be very much your natural habitat, this kind of energy, right? So it's important to make use of it, to use this momentum, this runway, to bring about those dreams of yours that maybe you were shy or just too careful to bring into your life. So we have two cards for you, Scorpio. One is, I'm a light worker in disguise. I don't have to talk about it, I can just be it. And for those of you who are still doubting, it's important to know that yes, when you show up in a room, in a crowd, at the event, you change the vibration of that collective, of that group immediately, right? Even if we don't talk about connection to otherworldly entities, right, or using your psychic skills, based on whatever your energy field is, where you are with your vibration and frequency, it's going to impact people around you immediately, right? Of course, depending on how far you've come in terms of your awareness and energy cleanse, right, and healing, and just generally your potential and gifts is gonna be a little different in terms of the impact, right? But it's still gonna be significant, and it's important to know it. It's important to know that by being you, learning about yourself, living your happy life, you're making a huge difference, right? It's also important to know, maybe for some of you it's an extra inspiration to get yourself or to keep yourself in that high vibe energy. It's also because if you're in a low vibe energy, it's not only hurting you, it's hurting other people as well. Let me be still today and listen to the truth in silence. Yes, very much similar vibe about having your truth within you, right? And then projecting it to the world. So Neptune, as soon as Neptune went direct, it's like we've been listening to ourselves for a while now, right? Neptune cycle is 6 months. And now it's about expressing it. So this is about, yes, remembering that the truth is in silence, but then in order to manifest it into the world, to share it, right, then you should speak it or you should act on it. One of those things. That's what the Neptune in direct position will be asking you to do. Okay, let's get you some tarot cards. Let's see what's going on, what's going to be happening for Scorpio in the month of December. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, to leave a comment. I'm using my new deck. I'm doing a little bit different format. Let me know what you think about it, or what you'd like to see more on this channel, especially in the new year. I will be doing a webinar just, in a week and a half from now. I will post information how to register for it. It's going to be free, and it's going to be about personal astrology. I will also do a workshop in January with like more depth to that personal astrology topic. This is something that I'm going to be creating courses for. This is me just getting the word out there and getting people interested, and I'm hoping that you guys will join me for those things. And of course there will be recordings if you can't make it live, but I hope you will, because it's going to be exciting. And I feel like the most important part of learning more about your personal astrology, being able to discern for yourself what those placements mean, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus at the very least, right? What we talk about so many times, is to be able to do that sort of divination, or to for yourself, or to make more informed decisions, right? Based on the foundation, based on the information you have, right? It's not even so much about just kind of, to me, it's not even about the horoscopes, to be honest. It's more about learning about who you are, what your potential is, what can you achieve in this world, how can you achieve happiness, those aspects of it. Speaking of which, 9 of Cups in reverse, Judgment in Chariot for your love life. So yeah, definitely some divine intervention into this process. Let me pull this a little bit. And yeah, but it's causing movement for the two of you. It's causing progress. Yeah, so if you wake up one day in December and you realize that your view on your relationship is different, or maybe your person starts acting differently, then at least give both of you the benefit of a doubt, because it looks like there is some intervention from the higher power on this, on where you're going and how you're doing. So it might not even be a specific person's choice, right? But this is just something that where, up there they decided that an intervention is needed. For the workspace, we have the Hermit, Ace of Cups, and the World. Wow, this is beautiful. And by the way, in terms of the who you could be dealing with, it could be another Scorpio, it could be Cancer, it could be Virgo, it could be Capricorn. For the, wow, so many major arcanas. This is amazing, Cancer. You definitely have somebody really guiding you into the right direction this month. So if you have the ears to listen, or to listen to the truth in silence, most importantly, then that's all really you have to do for the most part. You have the Star for the advice, 7 of Cups, and 9 of Wands. I actually had 9 of Wands for the advice for Cancer as well, because and the way I see it, the way I interpret it is, don't let your fear get in the way, right? So a lot of things that I'm seeing here are more about internal process, which I guess is fitting considering all these watery energies We're talking about Two of Swords, yet decision-making process. You will be facing like big moments, big situations, but in order to either interpret it for yourself correctly or make a decision in those moments, it's important to listen to your inner guidance. That's the most important advice. And if you're getting just one little thing from this reading, please remember that part, that you're supposed to listen to your inner voice to make a decision, right? And it may seem like a risky choice. It may seem like you don't really see how that makes sense. Although Scorpio usually doesn't care as much about it anyway, but no, it could be. Don't worry about it too much. If you're not sure if you're gonna have resources or patience or whatever to go through with it, don't worry. It's all gonna work out, right? As long as it's really your intuition and your heart talking, not the divine talking, right? Not the ego, not the fear. So for your love life, we have, I mean, you just have so many major arcanas here, then it's like, wow. Yeah, so it's kind of the switch to the bigger picture. So what I'm getting is that the both of you are getting into the phase where you're going to be seeing this relationship as well as your individual path and goals in something bigger than just realizing kind of basic needs, right? And I don't mean this in a negative way, like basic needs, but this is something that you've already accomplished. So you don't need to worry about putting food on your table, paying your mortgage, or, you know, making sure that your kid has clothes on and, you know, stuff like that. Like those things are covered, or they're covered well enough at the moment. So you don't have to put a lot of focus on it, a lot of effort. But what is important is to look at the bigger picture of where you're going and what do you do on the way, right? Like what are your moral values as you progress, right? And what is the bigger meaning behind this relationship? And this is a collective reading, so I'm not going to get too much detail on what this actually is. You can turn to me for a personal reading if you'd like to know more information about your case. But what I'm going to say is that definitely the divine will be trying to show you, to lead you in a way where you will see that bigger picture and bigger meaning of why you were brought together, right? And this can have a variety of scenarios. I'm getting different kind of thoughts in my head and like voices, you know, saying so many different things. But just know that there is definitely a bigger picture that maybe you haven't been thinking about, that you just don't have all the information yet, but it will be presented to you. That's the judgment piece. That's the insight piece where you will see that opportunity, right? Just stay open to it. Even if you decide not to act on it, write it down for yourself or share with your person so that at least it's like, you know, like if you've seen it, you cannot unsee it, basically. Like it's there, it's recorded in history somewhere, even if you decide for some reason not to act on it right now. But from what I've seen, you'll be like actively pushed into that direction anyway. For the career space, there is an end of a cycle, and what I'm seeing here is that maybe it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted, but you definitely were able to learn a lot for yourself personally. Like it's given you this project that you've completed, this release that you've had, the whatever you've published or service you've provided, whatever this collaboration has been recently, or maybe still is for some, you're seeing that the meaning of it is not necessarily in what you saw at the beginning, right? Not the more material benefits, but it's helping you, maybe not even your career in general, but it's helping you on a personal level. It's helping you ask yourself certain questions that you wouldn't be asking otherwise, right? And it doesn't even have to be about yourself. It will be more like about, you know, what does beauty mean, right? Or how important are our physical appearances and our bodies are in the image that we portray into this world, like something along those lines. And I'm getting actually like how much of love is in those things, right? Like this is contemplation of those philosophical points, but it will be relevant to your personal story, maybe not as much to your career, but because of the people you've met through this project, or certain situations that you've been in, you will naturally get those questions asked in your mind for yourself, right? It's like, it's another way of being a light worker. That's where it all starts, right? You don't just start with changing the world, right? But those questions lead to certain conclusions, to certain decisions that you wouldn't make otherwise, right? It's changing the way you approach those situations. And it's changing your vibration as you enter it, or enter the actual room. And that's what matters, at least at this time. And as for the advice, so I already mentioned the 9 of Wands, and not letting fear stand in the way of your dreams, and actually dreaming. And like I spoke about dreamy energy of Neptune going direct, and it's that, right? It's like creating the options for yourself, generating options, and also seeing that the big ambitious goal, big dream, right? Having a lot of hope and trust, really, in that, trusting in the idea that you are the star yourself, right? And that big things are in the making for you, without a doubt. It's important to have, not just to generate ideas, opportunities, or create a vision board. Like, it's at a certain point, this card actually looks like a vision board, and it has different areas of life if you look closer at it, right? It's not even just about creating the vision board, like checking the box, but it's also about believing that big things are in the picture, and having the trust in divine plan and divine guidance, because the star is also about northern star and that guidance, right? It's like navigation, where you don't really have all the facts, but you're kind of like trusting that guiding light, that position of the star, right? That's important. Okay, messages from your person of interest to yourself. Oops, that's too much. Let's try again. Messages for Scorpio from their person. Okay. So we have Wheel of Fortune and 5 of Wands. So your person truly believes that your meeting was fated. And although a lot of times it may seem like hard work to keep this in a good spirit, to have hope, to trust this love, but it's for them, even as they meet those challenges, for them every time they get more and more confirmation that this is something big, this is something important, this is bigger than just you and them, that the two of you will create this symbiosis, this synergy, will create something beautiful into this world. And regardless of how much time you will spend eventually together, or some details of how your lives will be, it's important that you are in each other's life, and you're definitely making each other better people, and you're helping each other break through from those karmic battles and some nonsense from other people. Like, that's speaking about Neptunian energy, right? You're helping each other see that bigger picture. Perfect. Okay, on this note, I'm gonna finish this reading. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Please make sure to check out readings for your other placements, and check out my website for the details on how to register for the webinar that I'll be doing in a couple of weeks. It's not there yet, but it will be pretty soon. Bye, everyone.